Let US begin. Havana syndrome attacks solved. Targeted individual attack solved. I am not here to debate how this is done. I am telling all of you how it is done. Period. And this system does not like water. Havana syndrome attacks on targeted individuals. Let US begin with the two multifunctional generators responsible for the production and distribution of this monstrosity. GPS rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7 atomic clock standard frequency time signal simulator generator combined with optical phased locked loop DVPLL optical phase locked loop OPLL electromagnetic field, diodes 780NM, 1550NM, 1560NM. When GPS L11575.42 MHz, which is a microwave and radio frequencies, and the DVPLL-OPLL, which is an electromagnetic field, and are joined together with GPS carrier signal L11575. 42MHz, which can be adjusted by the voltage control oscillation VCO. This would be the cricket volume control, making the ELECTROMAGNETICFIELD a higher frequency when more electrical current is added and a lower frequency when less current is released. When L11575.42 MHz, which is made up of radio frequency and microwaves, are joined in a DVPLL-OPLL around target, engulfing targets in microwaves, radio frequency, and electromagnetic waves. When THEBODY absorbs enough RF and microwaves, a phenomenon called microwave auditory effect hearing, which is when the temporal lobe and the cochlea gets swollen from the heat of the RF and microwaves and absorbs them, allowing the ability to be able to hear what is being carried by the RF and microwaves also. Hearing the pulse from electromagnetic waves field, constant burns that leave no marks, audio that gets so loud it causes nosebleeds, diarrhea and vomiting. Audio that only people WHO have been living in this optical PHASELOCKED loop combined with AGNSS GPS rubidium atomic clock standard frequency time signal simulator generator are then saturated with radio frequencies and microwaves from the L11575.42 MHz. Experience what I am about to explain and show you. Oh, and here are some facts to see if you are being targeted. An optical phase locked loop is a CONTAINMENT unit for all of the things I have mentioned and I am about to mention. This loop goes around target and targeted area. This system emits non-ionizing radiation which can be picked up by a thermal, not infrared, but thermal camera. Here is a link that shows the one around our home, https, u2. So now here is a list of things that this system can do. Filled circle Havana syndrome crickets. Havana syndrome cricket noise is achieved by target having microwave auditory effect hearing, but this sound is BEINGGENERATORED by the optical phase locked loop, which is a pulse electromagnetic field loop. What is microwave auditory effect hearing, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. Filled circle microwave auditory effect hearing. The microwave auditory effect, also known as the microwave hearing effect or the Frey effect, consists of the human perception of audible clicks, or even speech, induced by pulsed or modulated radio frequencies and electromagnetic waves field. The communications are generated directly inside the human head without the need of any receiving electronic device. The effect was first reported by persons working in the vicinity of radar transponders during World War II. In 1961, the American neuroscientist Alan H. Frey studied this phenomenon and was the first to publish information on the nature of the microwave auditory effect. The cause is thought to be thermoelastic expansion of portions of the auditory apparatus, i.e., heating and swelling of the cochlea and temporal lobes. V2K voice to God, radio frequencies straight to brain. CAUAED by being saturated with an L1 1575.42 MHz carrier signal contained in an optical phase-locked loop. L1 1575.42 MHz is made up of radio frequencies oscillating electromagnetic waves and microwaves. To achieve microwave auditory effect, hearing frequency must be between 200 MHz to 3 GHz. L1 1575.42 MHz is well within that range and is contained in the optical phase-locked loop. Another part to the GPS carrier signal is the CA code 1.023 MHz, which can have added RF signal combined with it using binary BSPK modulation method 1, S and 0, S turned into radio frequencies, which INTURN becomes part of the GPS carrier signal and part of the optical phase-locked loop and can be dialed in with a two-way radio or ham radio, and because of microwave auditory effect, hearing the audio from the added radio frequencies can be heard by target. Havana syndrome cricket noise is achieved by target having microwave auditory effect hearing, but this sound is being generated by the optical phase-locked loop, which is a pulse electromagnetic field loop. Filled circle THERMOPLASMONICS direct energy weapon ORGU is when 780 nm and or 795 nm laser is introduced to the rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7 atoms in a phase-locked loop. Please check my research, Filled Circle Quantum NANOPLASMONICS video surveillance, able to share and record video in or optical phase-locked loop OPLL and share via OPLL and C-band. Now optical phase-locked loop is joined with GPS rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7 generator, which starts rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7 nanoparticles pumping into an OPLL. Electromagnetic field for containment, Zeeman effect now occurs, ushering in rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7 atoms into the OPLL in an orderly fashion, and slowing down the RB atoms and holding them into place now 1550 nm. And 1560 nm are introduced, creating Doppler cooling of rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7, which slows down RB to the power of 8 to the power of 7 even more. Now 780 nm is introduced, causing electromagnetic induced transparency, also called atomic electron transition. Keep in mind the diodes lasers also create a stronger optical phase-locked loop. Basically this process slows RB to the power of 8 to the power of 7 atom down and speeds up the RB to the power of 8 to the power of 7 atoms electron, bumping it into a D2 or D1 orbit. Here are some facts about 780 nm. 780 nm can be seen by some humans, dogs, and can be captured on video camera. 780 nm basically acts like the shutter of a camera. It excites the rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7 atoms electron, absorbing information, and when it returns to its ground state it releases this extra energy as a photon with all of the new acquired information onto a polymer 1560 nanometer diodes laser C-band. Now back to 780 nm. My family and I have seen this laser many times in our home. We have it on video, and when 780 nm hits a rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7 atom, it creates THERMOPLASMONICS. We have this laser hitting us and our dog on video. On YouTube there is an interview with American diplomat Catherine Werner's mother, Laura Hughes, talking about how the dogs would just stare at SOMTHING in the air in their place of residence and the dogs would follow it, but nothing was there. I will bet you anything it was 780 nm. Now remember, only some humans can see 780 nm and not all the time, because it is at the very end of humans' visual spectrum of seeing light. I just thought I would add this in. Now, electromagnetic induced transparency. This creates an excess of energy moving it to a higher orbit. This is called a quantum jump, also called atomic electron transition to a higher state D2 and then DESENDS to D1, absorbing electromagnetic radiant energy during the surge of extra energy from 780 nm. While in this transition, Absorption is done with absorbing radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, T-rays and gamma rays all contained in the phase-locked loop. When loss of energy from electron occurs, it produces a photon which contains all absorbed information from electron. It then adheres to a polymer, C-band 1560 nm, and is sent back for demodulation. This whole process can gather information and view it live using it in almost anyone's home. Yes, this can CINTOPRIVATE property, and send it anywhere in the world via C-band satellite. People think the ringing in the ears are the worst part of a Havana syndrome attack. It is not. Filled circle quantum NANOPLASMONICS audio surveillance, able to share and record audio in an OPLL and share via OPLL and C-band. GPS rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7 atomic clock standard frequency time signal generator audio rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7 NANOPLASMONICS surveillance. Microphone radio station. A microphone converts sound into a small electrical current. Sound waves hit a diaphragm that vibrates, moving a magnet near a coil. So, let's break this down. Rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7 vapor, which is a soft silver metal. It is the part that senses and sends vibration to the phase-locked loop, sending it onto an inserted radio frequency. On the GPS carrier signal, magnet and coil from a microphone would be the electromagnetic loop transferring information onto radio frequencies, and OR diode 1560 nm, which is AC band, to be sent back to terrorists for demodulation, also sending it out like a radio station. Now back to the rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7. It has a positive and negative charge. When in an electromagnetic loop circle, it is held in place with equal force. Zeeman effect. When optical phase-locked loop OPLL is filled with rubidium to the power of 8 to the power of 7, it becomes like a drum snare with L1 1575.42 MHz, diode 1560 nm, which is AC band, and the optical phase-locked loop equals electromagnetic current. Now correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not, but this is how a microphone works and how the parts of Havana syndrome attacks on targeted individuals work very similarly. Filled circle quantum NANOPLASMONICS computer hacking. This one I'm not going to go give too much, but I will say this the same way a radio frequency can be added to the CA code 1. 023MHZ binary BSPK modulation method and IPADRESSES can also be added. All it takes is WHENTHE phase locked loop matches the phase of the electronics. A ping can be sent for that piece of electronic remote equipment to send its IP addresses. At this point, the terrorists GANGSTALKERS asshats grab that IP address and add it to the CA code 1.023 MHz. It then becomes part of the L1 1575. 42MHZANDTHEN, part of the optical phase locked loop. Quantum hacking of a computer does not need to take the front door to get in. That is all I will say on that. This system can be sent with GNSS GPS system almost anywhere in the world, and cost a couple of thousand to make, if that, to make. Fact check my research.